answer the Warren Moon issue on another night because you're right. I think
the problem with Warren Moon is it's a black man who claims to be a Viking. I've always found a problem with that. There's something funny about a black guy who's a Viking.
Yes,
Isn't there? I don't know. Am I the only one? Okay.
What does the doctor have to say about it?
Well, let me read from the doctor's book because
Go ahead.
All right, this is your book, not your latest book, but this is called Everyday Wisdom.
I need some of that.
We all need some of that, and it has fluffy clouds on the front, and it's I got it in the fluffy cloud section. there are many, and I have to admit, I'm not ridiculing it all, but I don't understand some of these, and maybe you can explain it. Maybe we can all open this up to the panel. Some of these, and they're pithy, they're aphorisms. Being bored is a choice. There is no such thing as boredom in the world.
That's your. You don't have a choice.
All you need is just listen to
Sounds like physics or something.
Listen to
Tell me. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
I personally think that if you're bored, it's because that's the choice that you've made and how you're going to process things in the world. Boredom is not something that exists outside of you. It's the way you look at the world. It's a very simple thing.
Have you ever had a drink with Tom Snyder?
I did a whole hour with Tom Snyder on the
But here's another one that I found sort of related, and certainly people in LA can relate to this. Traffic in itself can never irritate anybody. It just does what it does. Traffic doesn't care.
That's absolutely true. You have it when you're in traffic, and you have a choice. You have a choice to get crazy and to get all upset and to get all worked up and be mad at
Traffic
everybody.
happens.
Or you Or you have a choice to go through it peacefully.
What about back roads? When I was down here, I was recording down here about 4 or 5 years ago, and I would go like on the main roads, and they were like completely screwed up. But I would go off the freeway over to Sepulveda Boulevard and go over this beautiful road where nobody was on, and I had a completely pleasant time.
Boy, have you missed the point in a big way.
No. Back roads, no traffic.
No, but that's not what he's saying.
How many brain cells did you burn up in the 60s?
Let me just say, try Sepulveda Boulevard next time you're going over 405.
Well, listen to this one. The process of surrendering, focusing, and living on purpose leads to ecstasy. Is that what?
Joy. Yes, elimination, all those things.
Surrendering.
The process of surrendering, focusing, and living on purpose leads to ecstasy.
Absolutely.
Either that or you're in the Italian army.
Where did that come from?
Right here.
Where did that come from? No, speaking of brain cells, where did that come from?
I'm not making fun of that, but I mean,
Surrendering for me is like when I go to write, instead of being focused on the outcome and what's going to happen, whether it's going to be well received, whether I'm going to get good reviews and all of those kind of things, is just letting go and knowing that within each one of us, there's a sacred part of us. And when you connect to that, you can produce at a much higher level and feel much more blissful if your attention is always on outcome and how things are going to go.
I have trouble. How can you surrender and focus at the same time? See, maybe I'm just caught in the web.
Surrendering is
life.
Being in the Bhagavad Gita talks about being detached from the fruits of your labor, not being so focused on how things are going to be working out for you, but instead just getting yourself on purpose. And when you're on purpose, you're not so consumed with the ego and how things are going to work for you. What I'm really writing about is a sort of transcending the ego and allowing the sacred part of us to rule in our lives.
Too many people worry about how they feel and whether or not they're fulfilled. Do you think that we're a little too consumed with that right now?
The highest place that we can get to is the understanding that we're really not human beings having a spiritual experience, but that we're spiritual beings.
Yeah, but life is not a dress rehearsal.
God knows that part of it.
Have you found a personal spiritual being? enlightenment, God, whatever you want to call it?
Enlightenment to me is living in and being immersed in peace, being peaceful in a panel like this, being
we
in
found that in
traffic.
San Francisco.
It's impossible to be peaceful.
It'd be very helpful.
No, you can be peaceful in any place. And when there's a part of each and every one of us that wants nothing more than to be at peace, and then there's another part of each and every one of us that wants to be right and wants to make somebody else feel bad.
Well,
and wants to
then
make
you
other
get
people
into the
wrong.
Crusades and Allah, God bless Allah, and we go kill all the
No.
You
infidels.
Caucasians are extraordinary.
And the master race.
You really are. You know,
Where do you take these people?
Hispanics, we don't see psychiatrists. The minute we find out it's $75 an hour, we know you're crazy.
All right, we have to take a break. We'll be back. Before we run out of time, as I usually do, I want to thank you all and tell you that next week we have people like Dweezil and Cheech Marin coming up. But let me ask you this, because to me, if you read this and if you read the Bible is about the Ten Commandments and you shouldn't do this, and this seems to be more about listening to your own inner voice.
Depends on
but I
what
don't
you
know.
mean by the Bible. I mean, there's an awful lot of stuff in the Bible.
But certainly the Ten Commandments are not about this kind of stuff. They're
I'm more
about...
up on the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Squirrel? The Dead Sea Squirrel. And which Bible are you talking about?
That's what I'm really read up on. You know,
But you know,
Very
I mean,
bad.
it was kind of like an edited version of the Bible. It's like, well, you can kill sometimes, you know.
it's okay. I mean, I understand the point of view to listen to your inner voice, but sometimes the inner voice tells you to, the Son of Sam guy listen to an inner voice. And I mean, we all hear an inner voice, and sometimes it's just completely nuts.
See, the problem is I have an inner voice, but it's in French, and I don't know French, so I don't listen
I would
to
think
it.
you would learn French then.
I don't know. It just sounds Frenchy.
I mean, do you think some people would say it's endemic to an age that's very narcissistic, the me generation.
It is.
You think so?
Well, the world is in chaos and everybody's seeking an answer. And to get back to Gertrude Stein, who once said that there are no answers, that there never will be any answers.
She was killed in the Crusades, wasn't
And
she?
that's the answer. Which crusade is the question? You don't have any answers as a human being. It's almost, God, love, life is almost none of our business. In the sense, we have better things to concern. It's good coffee house chat.
Yeah.
But really, we have more important things to get to than God and religion and things like your old lady, and whether you're going to beat her or not, whether you're going to find God or not, or
I'm
eliminate
just
her.
glad that his inner voice isn't inside me.
Yeah,
I come from San Francisco, which has been described as 49 square miles surrounded entirely by reality. And I ascribe to this beyond.
You missed that one.
When we get back to San Francisco, you were from San Francisco for a while. When
Yes.
comedians particularly get back to San Francisco from their flights to Duluth and places like that, they
Right.
kiss the ground. God, I'm home, I'm safe.
What is
all
he
right.
talking about?
I don't know.
This is San Francisco, my dear.
The scary part is that I'm really
You
into
understand?
You should enjoy life.
I want to leave, 40 years of Catholicism behind.
I wasn't Catholic. Are you an altar boy?
No,
I was an altar. I was an altar boy. You were an altar boy.
I've never had sex with a man, so...
No, me neither. None of them liked me.
The Supreme Court.